So what we're going to look at now is one of the components of the GoPro camera. You can see from this little shot at the moment we've got several different options for the back door for the camera, each one for specific reasons has a different shape or form. The one we're going to focus on in particular is the audio. That's the one with the spaces in the back which allow for sound into the casing for the built-in microphone. It's no good as a waterproof casing, as many of these other ones are waterproof. So let's have a look at the back door itself. This is it taken off. Although I've said it's a component, there are actually several parts to this, and we really need to get into the detail. To do that, we need to look closely at the product, identify the features. For example, here there's a white gasket that forms a seal around the edge. There's a pivot on the end. There's a hinge, if you like, on one end. There are two big holes in the back. Now, that detail can be shown either as an elevation or shown here with a sectional view through. The drawing itself is significantly bigger than the real thing, with some enlarged detail sketched off the side to try and record more information. So we've got the gasket here, we've got the rounded back edge. The back panel looks like two holes, but it's actually a slight indent on the back panel, which you'd have a look at a little bit more detail. The gasket sits in a groove. That's the white rubber component sitting in. So we don't show it without the gasket, unfortunately it's the gasket in throughout. And there's the pivot, which is moulded into the back door with two knurled ends to just give it a little bit of key as the plastic cools in that moulding to hold it together. So the holes, obviously no good for waterproofing. The little pads on the inside of that cover there, they're there to cushion the contact with the back of the camera. They're actually special mounts as well. All the profiles on the edge, some of these sectional views and little highlights are trying to show that there's radiused edges, not sharp edges. And again, that detail needs to be recorded clearly somewhere in your preliminary sketches. Looking again in more detail, the gasket sits into a groove. It's actually on a very slightly raised surface above the flange, the big flat area at the back of the door. It's a lower section. It's held in place in the groove. There's the foam pads we talked about earlier on. They look like they're just sitting on the surface, but they're actually held in a little groove. They're exactly the same shape, fractionally bigger than the pad itself. So the cushioning pads, if you have a look in there, you might just be able to see, especially if you freeze this video, a little wall, a little groove going around the top. So we get direct location for those pads in place, and they're unique to the audio back door. This is one of the other back doors. This is for a watertight one, but it has a space for a screen and or a Wi-Fi panel. This is the basic one. It's got no holes, it's not wider, it's not deeper than the audio one. And if you have a look, we can see how the GoPro, in this case it's the GoPro 3, fits neatly into the front of the housing. We've no detail of that in our sketches at the moment. There's little grooves to make sure it lines up. The back door can close, and you can see on this one there's a little bit of oxidation, there's a little bit of whiteness on the pivot at the bottom. And this double pivot closure mechanism hooks over the lip at the back of the door, so that when pressure is applied on the front edge of the camera at the top, the door is pulled in, the gasket is squeezed, making a watertight, airtight seal on the back of the camera. Now if we take a little bit more time, what is it you see when you look at a product? You need to spend time investigating, looking for little features like the wall round here, or the recess in the back, or the position, and even the injection marks on the back of that moulding for the plastic going into the mould itself. The lip you saw activate on the double pivot hinge locking mechanism, with the thumbs moving at the moment. This little extended piece at the side there will need to be measured and sketched onto dimension sketches to show detail of how that strengthened part closes. So back up to this, we have a page showing some of the information. It's by no means a complete dimension sketch. It shows you a simple product like the GoPro camera actually has a lot of detail, a lot of design has gone into this product. And it's until you look at it, you get a chance to see what's been involved. Enjoy your drawing. This work takes time. There's a little bit of video shot on a GoPro with the time lapse, one of the other functions that the GoPro camera range offer. There's a range of different third-party accessories and original official components from GoPro. You can find it